Hello everyone, and welcome to Orange University. On tonight's episode, I'm going to play a Golgari Endless Sacrifice deck. So this is a deck that basically tries to endlessly sacrifice things like Forsaken Miner, Bloodghast, Reassembling Skeleton to some extent, and Timeline Culler into things like Alive, so that we can continuously get creatures back. And we also have Corpse of the Lost to make it a charging skeleton sort of deck. And this is a whole mess of aggro deck. So this is a very straightforward deck, I would say, but to play it, you really have to know what you're trying to do, learn both the patience and the time to turn the corner. And that is something that I am still learning, especially with this deck. So let's talk about the deck list. It's actually quite straightforward when you look at the creatures themselves, because turn 1, we got 4 Forsaken Miners and 3 Tinybones to Pickpocket. We just want to have a turn 1 play, making sure that we're not falling behind in the early game tempo, because we are rather aggressive. Turn 2, we got 4 Bloodghasts, 4 Timeline Culler, and that's obviously what we want to play out so that we can start attacking. We don't want to play out Bloodghast, we much rather discard Bloodghast. We want to play out Timeline Culler for the hasty creature. We can also have one of the 3 Mosswood Dreadknight as a 3/2 trampling creature. It's not super strong, but it is something that's that we can do. And then we have 1 Reassembling Skeleton. This is actually a secretly hidden good card for turn 2, because if we're able to do the turn 2 and play Corpse of the Lost turn 3, that's all of a sudden 5 damage on turn 3, which is nothing to scoff at. And then, of course, we also have 4 Dredger Insight, which is sort of the hidden tech of the deck. Dredger Insight gains us 1 life for every time a creature comes back from the graveyard, either into our hand or into play, and this whole deck is all about that, right? Things like Forsaken Miner keeps coming back. Things like Bloodghast keeps coming back. So Dredger's Insight is going to gain us a little bit to a lot of life. And then our sort of end game win con is just the Corpse of the Lost. We're just going to get a lot of skeletons, and we're going to overrun them with those skeletons. Every time one of our creatures that we want to die does die, then we can bring Skeleton or Corpse of the Lost back, cast it again, and get more skeleton, because the descent trigger will happen no matter what, no matter how our creatures die. And then we had a little bit of good removal. We got 3 Tragic Trajectories. I tried to adjust this deck a little bit so that we also have 3 Nowhere to Run. Too many hexproof things out there. Nowhere to Run can put a stop to that to some extent, so I do like it. And because we are an Endless Sacrifice sort of theme, I think 3 in the life will be pretty useful, because we can sacrifice our Forsaken Miner. And the trick is, sacrificing Forsaken Miner will allow us to cast in the life, therefore targeting a creature or planeswalker, normally on our opponent's side, right? And we get to exile that. But because we're targeting it, it is a crime, so that cast resolution will then trigger the in the graveyard part of Forsaken Miner, so we cast it back. So in essence, this makes In Alive cost 2, which is a pretty good card, right? If you have a 2 mana, exile target creature or planeswalker, you'll probably play it. So that is sort of our removal package. Not a very heavy removal package, but it'll get us there. And the whole point of this deck is that we want to mill the cards that we want in our graveyard with Dredger's Insight, and then cheat it back out, Bloodghast and Forsaken Miner, with our crime or land drops. Then this land is mostly mono black, so we got 24 lands. 24 because we have 9 swamps, 4 Blooming Marsh, 3 Underground Mortuary, and 4 Wastewood Verge, along with 4 Soulstone Sanctuary. The Soulstone Sanctuary will turn into skeletons, which then will be pumped by Corpse of the Lost. The whole point of this deck is to kill them with Corpse of the Lost. It's like the normal skeleton aggro deck, but with a green slant to it. And you can see that I have 9 swamps and 3 Underground Mortuary. Now, the main reason for that is because this is a tap land. We want to go fast, and I don't want too many Underground Mortuary getting stuck in my hand in the early game, because if I do, I'm going to be a lot slower. God knows I'm going to go second every game, and then I will just lose, right? So that's kind of the idea that I had initially thought of when I was net decking this deck. And when I was also net decking, basically, I wanted to see whether or not this deck could work. It doesn't. I really had to add in the 3 Tinybones. A lot of the decks I looked out there, right, it's not steering into the skeleton too much, and it's a very basic common deck with a few rares in there. Not counting the lands, we got Mosswood Dreadknight, and I think Bloodghast as the rares, and that's about it, right? Also the Corpse of the Lost. So we got 12 rare cards, actually 11 rare cards, and that's it. The Tinybones was my addition because he is a skeleton, and more so than being a skeleton, we need a turn 1 play to keep tempo. So it's between this and Cecil, and what pushed Tinybone above Cecil is that he is the skeleton, right? So that kind of combos with Corpse of the Lost. Ever so slightly, but it does do the trick. So that's the whole idea of the deck. I don't know how good it can be, and I'm going to try it out in today's metagames. Alright, our opponent is Acro. The ambitious Acro. And we're going to go first. No 1-drops though, so I think we can live with that. Let's keep. Start with the Swamp. Gene Pollinator. I don't know what's going on. I don't like it though. I'm scared. I have to go Bloodghast. Try to aggro. Novice Inspector. I am confused here. He does have 2 mana, right? So that's something, I suppose. Let's attack. I don't think it's gonna block. Do we kill the pollinators to reduce his mana? I don't think that's the right play here. So maybe we put out the Mosswood Dreadknight. He does get to 4 mana next turn, and if it's a well, that Convoke Knight is out, so I don't think I have to worry about that. So maybe it's the tempo play. I mean, milling 4 cards into the graveyard is probably better. Yeah, right? It's probably better. It's not overly significant. I don't really... I do get to bring that back, so... You get a Blooming Marsh. Now let's get a Soulstone Sanctuary. Bloodghast, go. Or Boroid. Alright, well, this is fun. They immediately have something I can't handle. I don't think he's gonna block. He does block? Oh, that's wild. I could keep my Bloodghast, but there's no point in keeping my Bloodghast. I will bring it back. Let's kill the Boroid. I'll bring this back as well. Yeah, that block was not smart at all. But I'll take it. I can also warp this. Is there a reason to warp it? I can just hardcast it. You can hardcast this, hardcast Corpse, and then we can go in for damage. There's a lot of damage. We'll take the 4. It's not too bad. If he attacked for 4, we can, on the backswing, this is 6, 7, 8, plus 3. That's 11 damage. I say we do that. Alright, I guess we got to the Salty Rope Rage. I mean, come on, you went first with the Ouroboros. I don't know if that's something you gotta be too salty about. Seems like Arena is helping you. Loser. Come on. Stop roping. Alright, I guess we gotta wave it out. How long is the rope? Because he's not doing anything, and... oh, there it is. So here's the first rope. Gene Pollinator is wild, though. Like, that's a card I've been thinking about in a lot of decks. And mainly I've been thinking about in decks that has, you know, enchantments like Nowhere to Run and Dredger's Inside, because obviously I can tap for mana, and these enchantments don't need to be untapped, right? And it says tap up untap permanent, so enchantments are probably the best permanent to tap because they don't do anything while being untapped. Oh god, still roping. Alright, let's talk about Acro, the man, the myth, the legend, the biggest loser in the world. I don't know. Come on, stop roping. People are so... what's the word? I'm trying to be nice, but the word is... I don't know. Thin skin? No. Just... So, thin-willed? Weak-willed. That's the word I was thinking of. Alright, like, you just... Oh no, I'm not losing. I'm not winning the game, like, immediately. I'm gonna quit. This game sucks. I hate you all. That kind of feeling is... It's just... That's not how you play it. Come on, man. Hello? He has an action. I don't know what his action is. He could tap for 2 mana. Maybe, like, get lost one of my things. I mean, I didn't have to play Corpse of the Lost there, but I want to, right? This is 11 damage. I'm not turning that down. But there's also Bloodghast Dreadknight, just to get more in. I don't think I would do that. Unfortunately, Corpse of the Lost does not buff Bloodghast. Vampire Spirit, it does buff the Forsaken Miner. I forgot about that. So, that's actually 12 damage this turn. He's gonna rope. Oh, no, he's just good. He's just a freaking loser. Get out of here, you Acro. Alright, our opponent is Vingery Bree. Opponent goes first. Temple of the Sea. I'm being lied to. Okay, anything else going on here, or is it just another the mirrored mid-range deck every time? Now that I'm playing an aggro deck, I'm going to get countered by a mid-range. Oh, perfect. Exile my Bloodghast. Very on point. Three Temples of the Sea. Because why not? Didn't kill any of these. Dredger's inside. Come on, give me a land. Oh, he's gonna counter this, so I don't even get a land. He didn't counter it, which is good for me, I guess. Let's see what's gonna happen. Definitely getting those lands. Although I like a tiny bone. This land is much needed. Should not play the land though. Should attack first. Okay. I guess he's gonna do the intimidation tactic again. Thunder Trap Trainer. That's surprising. Into the Flood Maul. Sure. I don't know if that's too good of an idea, but hey, you know, whatever works for him. Dude, just draw the Bloodghast, why don't you? Alright. I have Forsaken Miner, so if I trajectory, I will be able to get the miner back out. I don't think it's a combo deck with the trainer, so how much do I care about that? Because also Corpse of the Lost, we can just counter that. Maybe he countered this. Not drawing lands is so fun. Let's do this. Would he counter? Blood Maul. Let's play it back out. He's trying to keep himself above water. 4th Temple of the Sea. Very deceitful person he is. Alright, well, it's probably going to counter this corpse, right? It looks like 4 open lands, so this corpse is going to get countered. I play a Bloodghast. Would he counter the Bloodghast? I mean, there's no other way for me to get around this, so countering the Bloodghast doesn't really do much. Let's go for the combat. He's probably going to bounce something. There it is. All he has is bounce so far. Like, everything he has is just bouncing my stuff. It's just delaying the inevitable. Oh, I should have got the Corpse of the Lost down. Would have given all my skeletons haste. Deadly cover up. Okay, he's gonna exile the miner probably. What did he exile? Bloodghast? Okay. That's interesting. I get to draw a card. Thanks for that. Alright, let's I don't need to target him with anything, so well, Underground Mortuary. Dredger's Inside probably is useful. Let's go Corpse of the Lost. Attack for 3. I guess we'll bring back the Mosswood Dreadknight here. Alright, he's down to low enough. I'm gonna cast this creature. I will take this action. You just have a bunch of deadly cover-ups. Not a bad plan. Alright, we cast the corpse. Get another one. There's an Aetherize. I kind of saw that coming, to be honest. It's just a perpetual bounce deck. What's he gonna exile? My Mosswood Dreadknight? Okay. There's a Timeline Culler. If I warp this, do I get anything out of it? He has no creatures. So I can't even target him with anything. Like Eaten Alive, Trajectory, none of those. Riverturn Monument. He's gonna try to mill me. Giving me a Reassembling Skeleton. Very nice. Gotta thank him for that. Alright, any way for me to kill exile target creature of Planeswalker? I'll put that in the graveyard. And I'll return this back to my hand. So my Reassembling Skeleton's in the graveyard. And the Corpse is lost in my hand. He has to get a few things. I have 11. Okay, another Revolutionary Monument. I have 29 cards. Get the skeleton back out. Put in my turn here. So very good draw here. Course of the Lost. It's probably going to be Aetherized. The Aetherized. Not gonna tactic my Timeline Culler. Huh. Probably has more Aetherized in his hand. Alright, GG. I don't know, I hate your deck, stupid mill. Alright, our opponent is Kusamo, the Standard Bearer. Please don't bear Standard. We go first. Pretty bad hand, but 2 corpse I think we can try our best with those. So we'll start with the Mortuary. I don't want to bloodghast, that's a free creature. Alright, this means we can kind of tempo him pretty hard. Sanctifier. Life gain. Alright, we're gonna have to fight life gain. It's not easy with 3 Soulstone Sanctuary, but maybe we'll be able to get there. Oh, tap land. Fantastic. Another life gain creature. Him no attack. Cool beans. Get the corpse down. He can double block. I don't think that's a good idea. But I guess it's better than nothing. Oh, you just take it. Okay. So, can I get? I can warp in a Timeline Culler. That's the plan. 3 Soulstone Sanctuaries just is wild. But 2 corpse is gonna help me get there. Two Hinterland on a blue-white is. I don't know what his deck is doing. He's definitely gonna gain a lot of life for playing any creatures. And here comes the rope. I'm pretty sure he's making decisions, right? Turn 3, he's got maybe up to 3 lands. He's got a Gix Sleep. People with Gix Sleeps were just playing Mono Black back in the day, so I'm sure his strategy is... I was gonna say one-dimensional, but this is worse than one-dimensional. This is 0-dimensional if that's the play. Cool. Scry to the bottom, gain 2 life. He's a 15. He doesn't have a land. No, he's mana screwed. Okay, that's fair. If you're mana screwed, the game's over anyways. I would say. I don't think I need to play another Soulstone Sanctuary here. So let's just do the thing. Another corpse. Warp in a Culler. And we turn cards sideways. Jump. Is he going to take everything else? That's a lot of damage. There's 8, 9, 10, 13. It'll go down to 2 if he does it. But, okay, he double blocks. That will kill both of them. Do I want to return one of them? Or do I not want to return any of them? I don't have to return any of them because the Soulstone Sanctuary is what I'm going to use to get them. Give you a 5 power attack. Is at the end of turn, right? At the beginning of your end step, if you descended this turn. So, even if I descend on my opponent's turn, and for some reason it turns on, it does not help because it's only at the end of my turn. All my skeletons have haste. Timeline Culler is not a skeleton. So, basically means nothing. Rope. He's gonna do this on his turn to get a wabbit. Alright, he can block the 5 and he takes 7, he still dies. Also, we got a bloodghast. GG. That's lethal, right? He can block the 5, so 3, 7, 8, 9. That's 9 damage. Exactly enough to kill him. G to the G. Alright, our opponent is Shoako. There's an A, right? I'm not saying this wrong. We go first. This is... love getting bloodghast in my hand. Red. Red pass. Interesting. Well, I guess we bloodghast him. Let's try to get some damage in. Sacred Foundry. Higher Claw on turn 2. What? Yeah, what? Okay, I'm gonna attack with the bloodghast. It's a weird play he did. I don't know what's going on here. Here's the Tinybone. I'm gonna hold up and know where to ride because this is wearing me out. Two Sacred Foundry, he shocked himself. Nova Hellkite. Okay, so he's gonna ping off my Tinybones. Alright, I'm gonna kill his Higher Claw. If this is the fight he wants, this is the fight he's gonna get. But I draw another land now. I do draw another land, so I think I can Dredger's Insight this turn. And play the skeleton. These are some bad cards. Couldn't even return a creature to gain that life. But he shocked himself like hell, so maybe we'll get somewhere. Barashino Pyromancer. Okay. Actually, I can play his cards. It's kind of funny. First Corpse of the Lost. Then Tinybones. You don't block Tinybones, I'm gonna cast your Higher Claw. You can burn it off, I guess. There's a burn. So that burn's not going to my face, which is pretty important. I'm gonna decline. Because next turn, Soulstone Sanctuary is 4 damage, technically, right? I turned it into a 4/3. There's a Shelter. Shelter's quite annoying. But would he attack? Boros Charm for double. Boros Charm for double strike, you say? I can keep the skeleton untapped. But this is 6 damage, where this is... Yeah, I could bring him down to 3, but I don't know if that's worth it. If he kills the skeleton, I can bring it back. Very important turn here. You can see that I mill my Tragic Trajectory and my Eaten Alive. Then I drill a land. Bolt Wave me for 3. Cool. He's having like 3 Bolt Waves in hand. Yep. Yep. Alright, our opponent is Zampolian. We go first. No green. 3 green. Like, I have like 6 green cards in the deck. I drew 3 out of the 6. I can still adventure with the Mosswood Dreadknight, so it's not pure green. Alright. Can I draw? That's good. Now I can cast something and deal damage. Temple of Plenty? Jeez. He's really steering into the unit deck. Alright, do we Bloodghast here, or do we Dredger's Inside? Or do we Mosswood Dreadknight? Going to 3 mana? It's kind of hard to say. I switch Trajectory. Well, I played a land, which I shouldn't have done, so I'm just gonna Dreadknight. Him playing a Landwar Elf kind of means he's not gonna cage me, right? It'd be weird for him to cage me after Landwar Elfing, because then he would be just Landwar caging his own elf. Fenrir. He's gonna start ramping. I'm not gonna draw. I drew a land. Let's get a Dredger's Insight down. Wow, how lovely. Not a useful card in sight. He won't not block any, would he? Alright, I don't think I have Bloodghast here. The question is, do I Mosswood Dreadknight or do I Tinybone? I have a Mosswood on board. I don't need another one. I could do it next turn anyways. It's probably Yuna here. And he's gonna bring back the Fenrir. Yeah. Now he has lifelink. I have to try to get around that. Actually, no. They don't have lifelink. They have lifelink on his turn, not on my turn. He's at 7. So we're just gonna send our cards in. You gotta block something. You can block the Mosswood Dreadknight, you know? Why would you block it? Okay. GG. Why would you not block the Dreadknight? It was a 3 power. GG. Opponent's bad at math. Alright, our opponent is Ezsasi. Easy Sassy? I don't know. I guess he's easy. Opponent goes first. He's pretty easy. We got Tinybones, Miner, and then Corpse. Maybe Miner, Tinybones, and Corpse. Uh-oh. Commercial District. I'm not liking where this is going. He even keeps? I have no idea what he's doing. Is it Delirium? It could be Delirium. In which case, I'm gonna have a field day with Tinybones. Rubber Belt Maverick, on the other hand, is trickier. Because now I'm not sure what he's doing. Another Maverick? Is he just gonna exile the Maverick on the first Maverick? Okay, because I will just attack into that. He didn't even He didn't flinch. Alright. I'm only gonna play a 1-drop anyway, so I could play a tap lane. Not exactly sure what's the plan for our opponent. Screaming Nemesis? I guess that's a plan. Not a great plan. I could just Tinybones the Maverick, but you know what? I don't think I want to. I'm going to... Let's see, if I eat alive the Nemesis, can I bring it back? Just bring it back. I should have attacked first then. I was too cavalier with the math. I forgot I could just... Yeah, that was a big mistake. I missed 2 damage there. FOMO. Oh, FOMO is amazing for me. He doesn't want to fight. Just attacks for 2. Got 1 green. He does want to fight. How does he want to fight? Guess we're gonna have to wait an hour to find out. Nope. Decided against it. So we're gonna know where to run the FOMO. Do I do that as he blocks? Then he would just... I mean... No, right? I want to do that to the FOMO. Then when I attack, I get my own FOMO. Thank you very much. Another Screamo Nemo. This one's attacking. Another Eaten Alive, but now I remember I could get it back. So that would cost 2 mana, which means that I could take the Collar off for 2 mana, or I can Dredger inside for 2 mana. And I should Dredger inside out a land, because with that land, I can now charge out the Collar. He blocks my tiny. Sack a creature. Kill the Nemesis. Attack the creature and bring it back. That's mana. Or that's life. And now my Collar goes away. And next one I have Corpse, which makes this 6 damage, 7, 8 damage. That would be lethal if he taps out. That's gonna be fun. So I have 1 that I can work on the graveyard. And I have... Oh, it is Delirium. I mean, obviously I saw the FOMO, I should know. He doesn't have Delirium though, because I've been stealing his graveyard. That was fun. It's gonna be a 4-3. Would you like to attack? He does want to attack. If he attacks, he conceded the game. GG. -3. I guess that was easy. Welcome back, everyone. Now that you saw all of those games, how does this deck feel? I feel terrible. Honestly, I had to go through a lot of renditions of this deck. I had to fine-tune this a lot. As I talked about in the intro, right? I had to tune. I went up to 1 Tinybone, 2 Tinybone, 3 Tinybone, 4 Tinybone, back down to 3, and it was a lot of trial and error in this deck. I have to say, I generally want to reserve this word for most decks out there, but this deck straight up sucked for me today. It was so bad, and it could be my luck, right? I was going second a lot. I was drawing this end of the package a lot. in the early game and not this end almost every game, no matter what my opponent is, and that just doesn't feel good. And then for a few games where our opponent's playing, a lot of hexproof, a lot of shelter by ghost, they have one creature out there, and I keep drawing this end of the package, and none of them nowhere to run. That also didn't feel good. So this deck is finicky. I say that a lot about many decks that I tried because they're a little bit janky, but this deck is downright awful in my experience today. That's not to say that you'll have the same experience. Obviously, the way the playstyle matters, and I'm probably not playing it entirely correct in a lot of games because I might be trying to control the game too much. It's an aggro deck. You do have to turn the corner as soon as possible, and if your opponent's hitting you in the face, just let that happen, and you hit your opponent in the face, and hope that you hit harder than they do. And Corpse of the Lost does give all of your skeletons haste. So don't forget that. So it's kind of a pseudo red deck because it's able to do that, and that means we're able to do a lot more aggressive push that we couldn't have done in normal black decks. And Timeline Culler is haste, Bloodghast is haste, so all that can work. Most decks I've seen online does not run the Reassembling Skeleton. It doesn't look like a very good card on paper because it's a 2-mana 1/1, but I do think it has room to stay just one off because it combos with Corpse of the Lost, so it'd be a 2-mana 2/1 haste, which in that case it's not the end of the world. Still not great, but it's not the end of the world because you can recast it from your graveyard, and the best thing is it could continuously trigger Dredger's Inside on demand. Right? Unlike a lot of these other cards where we have to have something happen in order for us to bring a creature back, Reassembling Skeleton just says bring it back. So that's something that I thought of could be relevant. And the last thing that I think is probably most relevant is the land base. Soulstone Sanctuary is great. I think a lot of times having that skeleton do the damage felt good, but the problem a lot of time is this color base really screw me over because I need 2 black pips for Bloodghast or Timeline Culler. And Soulstone Sanctuary, yeah, at some turns, it's a 4-mana 3/3 Vigilance Zombie, or no, Vigilance Skeleton. But think about it this way, right? If you play a 4, actually, along the lands itself, it would be a 5-mana 3/3 Vigilance Zombie with haste. If you could put a 5-mana Vigilance Zombie into your deck, would you? 5-mana 3/3? You probably wouldn't. So with Soulstone Sanctuary, I think I might even think about cutting it. So 4 might be too much, 3 might be too much. Maybe we just go down to 2, and we can have more early game tempo plays. And that's really where this deck is lacking. A lot of times I just feel flooded. I feel like my aggro deck is not aggroing, and that's a big issue. Of course, I'm testing out this deck today because I want to try a skeleton deck that's not just mono black, and I do think that there is something here that, if fine-tuned enough, could be a standard ready deck. I just don't think this version is it yet. Some more additions are necessary, and some more training and learning on my side is probably necessary to play this style of deck. But that's really all I got for you today. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time.